Hello, I'm Andrew Dyer, and welcome to another edition of the Roundball Report, the only show in the area dedicated to highlighting the experts of the high school, college, and professional basketball teams which play in the Washington metropolitan area. And here with me again is my co-host, one and only Coach Nikki Lewis, or should I say Nikki Blue?
Whichever name fits, it's okay.
Nikki, we've got a very interesting topic to start the show off with,
Yes,
and then
we
we're going
do.
to talk about youth sports in general in this climate. And here with us to weigh in with his thoughts on it are author, coach, and Archie Beslow of CoachToMentor.com, also joined by a prominent coach and contributor, weekly contributor here at the Roundball Report, Coach Jimmy Fly Hellmann. Jimmy, welcome to the Roundball Report.
Welcome, guys. Welcome to the Roundball.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Now, Archie, one of the things, this is a very opinionated guy, so once you get the ball, once you get the ball started, he'll chime in. But talk to us about what inspired you to form CoachToMentor.com.
Basically, just got tired of the abusiveness from the parents, the coaches, a lot of profanity, you know, trying to push these kids to be great. You know, they haven't reached the age of 10. You know, so yeah, that pretty much spearheaded. And I have sons of my own. So after a couple of coaches started abusing my sons and coaching my sons out, I said, no, I can do it better. So when I started coaching, I did no profanity. I wasn't making kids run extra laps or a whole bunch of suicides. I made it fun, and I got great results from making it fun.
And I think that's lost in youth sports.
It is.
We forget, coaches tend to forget that you have to make it fun in order they need to love it. And if kids don't love it, they tend to shy away from it as they get older.
Right.
So a lot of times I think coaches, when they get a really good team or they have a really good player, they lose sight of the fact that they're still a kid. They're still kids.
My son played JV basketball. I'm not going to say the school because I don't want to put the school out, but he played for Douglas. And, so they were losing about 40 points. They were losing about 40, a JV team that doesn't play for a championship, 40 points. He had 7 kids on that bench that didn't get in the game.
Wow.
So I stood up. My son was looking over his shoulder like, Dad, no. So I cordially went downstairs, and as halftime was ending, I met the coach at the door. I was very politically correct. I said, I don't know what you're thinking about. I said, but it's totally not cool. Not even my child, but the other 6 kids that are on the bench that comes to practice every day, and you're losing by 40, and it's a JV team.
Right.
They can't see the floor.
Right.
You know, that was a problem for me. So that spearheaded me to write
Now,
my
how did he
first book.
respond to that?
Oh, do you really want to know? With all due respect, Coach, this is not Boys and Girls Club ball. This is high school. I said, well, you need to go coach Boys and Girls Club ball. You know, it was an insult. So those are the type of things that catapulted me into being who I am today.
Right, because I think a lot of times it comes down to the win. So I guess he didn't even see the fact that he was down by 40. He was, I guess, hoping that his starters were going to get him back in the game, and didn't want to accept defeat.
He was embarrassed. He was embarrassed. And what I've learned, and Jim, you probably can speak to this as well, the winning aspect in youth sports is not important. We as adults know how to win.
Right.
Kids don't even understand winning until their parents kind of like, you got to win, you got to win, you got to win. So what I did was I made it a comfortable environment. All my practice was 100% attendance. You know, kids gave me feedback. You know, I even had kids calling their own plays. Even when I was coaching basketball, the kids loved to come to my practice because the majority of the time we was running. I wasn't calling a lot of plays. I probably had like 3 plays total when I was coaching basketball. And that was even on the AAU circuit. And the kids loved it. So when it was time for me to implement plays, they was more willing to listen to me because I allowed them to be them.
Right.
You know, we got to stop trying to create our kids and allow our kids to create themselves. And that's where we fail.
Right.
I like what I'm hearing. So I can tell you, let me tell you a story, because you think I was just, you know, JUCO coach, which I was for 8 years, but prior to that, you know, I was an athletic director, head coach at a Christian school, because I taught school for 6 years, middle and high school in Baltimore City. And I had nobody there knew my background, because I didn't tell anybody. And one day, somebody found out that I played, you know, college basketball, and all the kids, you know, they just saw me as Brother Jim. That's what they called me. And I'm 5'4". So they're up in the lunchroom, the middle school kids. Oh, we can beat you one-on-one. I said, really? I said, after school, meet me in the gym. I said, get your best 5. We're gonna play make it take it to 11. You can have the ball out first. I said, do not miss.
Right.
So we went to the whole school was buzzing the rest of the day. We're gonna kill him. I won 11-0.
Oh, wow.
And I told, the principal got up in the assembly talking about Coach Jim is gonna start a team from scratch. I'm like, do you understand how difficult this is gonna be?
Yeah.
So literally, I told him, okay, I will do this for you, but for 1 year, I'm going to teach you fundamentals.
That's it. That's
Middle
the
and
key.
high school. I said, you won't play any games.
Yep.
I can't schedule a game for you because you'll get destroyed.
Right.
But if you do what I say the following year, and that's how I started the program from scratch, and we had cross country, track and field. But to his point, to me, it's age appropriate. There's too much with this AAU stuff, and why I harp on that. 10-year-old kids, to me, do not need to be crossing state lines to go to Texas and Oklahoma and wherever else, Timbuktu, to go prove that they're the best 10-year-old in the country. To me, that is ridiculous. All right, now high school kid, that's a little bit different because you're getting older, you're getting to scholarship level and all that. But little kids, they need to be having fun,
Right.
playing pickup ball.
Right.
Without all this adult intervention, and quite frankly, there's a lot of money being made here.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's, that's where I have the bigger problem. And what he was saying about the language that was used, because I had some AAU tournaments at the college when I was coaching, and it was appalling to me to see this up close and personal, the way these adults would act, the coaches acting like they were in the NBA finals, and have 7-year-old kids in tears. I didn't even want to do it anymore after I saw some of this stuff. So to me, gentlemen like this, Archie here, stepping in the gap and doing things, you need people that are going to come in and do it the right way.
So, Coach Archie, expound a little bit more about your philosophy in the Coach to Mentor program.
So my philosophy with my program is I want young kids to become prominent adults. It has nothing to do with sports. Nothing. It's about life. We fall short of raising our kids the proper way. We don't teach them respect. Youth sports is teaching our kids how to be disrespectful, because there's so much, coaches build up so much hatred towards the other opponent, and now you're building up hatred towards the other adult on that side. I've actually been in games where parents were fighting other parents. So now I got kids looking at, they're like, okay, Coach Archie, what's going on? True story. I was in a tournament in Richmond at the Boo Williams when I was coaching basketball in Boo Williams. I took my team off the court because there was a confrontation with with a parent and a referee. And it got to the point where my kids were looking at me like, Coach, and I'm in law enforcement, so I called a timeout, got my team up, and we walked off the court. So they were saying, well, you can get a tech and get disqualified. We can get a tech and get disqualified, but this adult is not being asked to lead the gym.
Right.
I say, so until y'all get that straight, my team. So when it was all said and done, one of the parents said, Coach, you gave my son his first boycott. I said, well, it wasn't so much about, it's about the principle of what's going on. But what I've learned over the years, I've had kids that were like very subpar athletes through my teaching and the way I coach. Now I have so a kid like Chase Young, he's now going to Ohio State. A kid like Markelle Fultz that was like the #1 pick for the 76ers. He came through the 6-man Warriors camp. So we have countless of stories of guys that I'm like a nurturing coach and a mentor that I'm giving solutions, but I'm not always wrapping the kid up.
Right.
So when the kid talks to me, I'll be like, oh God.
So, Coach, I would say, though, you're teaching them how to be young men.
Yes, sir.
Because, see, when I was dealing with middle and high school kids, I spent a lot of time talking to them about being men, and you got to grow into this, and you got to learn how to make proper decisions and keep bad influences away from you.